Hello and welcome back to Nat Scraps. My name is Natalie Koenig, a close to my heart maker, and today we are on to day 24 of the 30 days of sketches from Christy's Beautiful Life. Now, if you don't know anything about that, we are on day 24, so that means you have not watched the last 23 videos. I won't hold that against you, but there's information in the description below with a Facebook group you can visit and all that kind of stuff. Or there's plenty of information in my other videos, which you hopefully will go watch as well. So today I am creating from the sketch up there in the top right hand corner, and it's Cassandra Tooth's sketch. Thank you so much, Cassandra. But what I have done today is I have turned it on its side. So if you have another little look at that, that is how mine is going to look. Thanks, Cassandra, for a fantastic sketch. I really like this one, but I'm kind of twisting it a little bit to suit myself. So I have on the Cricut machine cut 2 hearts out of some masking paper, and I've placed them on. They're very hard to see. You can see the little bits that are hanging off the sides there, either side of that, and that will become more and more apparent as we go along. That is going to be where you have the 2 little ray things on the side. I'm not sure what to call it. Bursts on the side. So I am now going to fill this in. Now the photos I'm using are of Bali and the moon, full moon that was there. I've got loads of different photos with me and my son on the beach. And so I'm using those ones. Here you can see I've started off with some black gesso, and what I am trying to attempt is to create a nighttime kind of scene. So the blue paint, I've gone in with a little bit of black, but the blue paint you see here at the moment, it's very dried up, so I'm spraying lots of spray into this blue paint, and I am trying to get the blue paint to soften up enough that I can scrape it and mix it with the black and get a black blue kind of mix there. I sort of succeed, but I sort of don't as well, because I use the gesso. The gesso doesn't, it tends to repel a little bit of the paint and inks. So when I go in with other colors, it kind of quite doesn't smooth out as much as I like. I could have spent another, 20-30 minutes really working with the colors on this one to get them a lot smoother and working a lot better, but in the end, time is a precious thing, and especially when it comes to 30 days of sketches, when you've got to get these layouts done and move on, otherwise you fall way behind. I'm normally a day or so ahead at least. I try on the weekends to do an extra layout or 2, but yeah, it's hard keeping up. Though for those that have been following my son and his editing and doing all those wonderful things for me, today even he's like, how many more days of the month is there, Mum? Are we nearly there yet? And I'm feeling him. I'm like, mate, I get it. I really do get it. So here I'm going in with the dark, and I'm trying to blend it out a little bit into that blue, and I'm looking to get a real inky blue sky. I am then going to change over to some distress inks, and I will blend even more with those, and I want it to blend so that coming close to the moon is a sort of very light kind of color, and the rest of it is that inky blue. Now if you guys are still with me and you can still see where we're going with this and looking forward to seeing what happens, please think about liking and subscribing to the channel. You can even hit the notification bell, which tells you whenever I upload a video, and that is a really cool thing, because then you won't miss out ever on a video. And I'm really trying very hard to get to the 1,000 subscriber mark. You all know it's a bit of a milestone mark, and I'm working, and I'm hoping I'll get there eventually. So now we're going to move on, and we're going to speed up a little bit more, because this does take a little bit of time. We're going to go in with a very light blue, and we're just going to do that lightly around those hearts, and they will start to appear soon so that you can see where I have masked. This is a technique I really like to use to make moonlit things. I quite often have used this same technique to make cards with Santa's sleigh going across the night sky and have a moon and then the dark inky sky and lots of things like that. I've created some sunset layouts too, very similar. I think I even have one video up here on YouTube making a sunset with very similar things going on in the background with the inks and that. Sometimes I start with white paper, other times I actually start with a really light blue paper, which actually helps that you don't have to color all that way, but your moon obviously then is not going to be as bright. One of the other tricks to doing this is being patient and going back and blending and going back and blending and going back and blending. You're not going to get this in the first go. You're probably not going to get this in the second go. You're probably not going to get this in the third go over. You do have to go over and over and over it until you get that sort of blendy look. This one's not going to come perfect, which is fine by me too, but it's not going to be perfect because it has that black in the background, that gesso. I sprinkled with a water brush all over the sheet, and that just gives some little lighter patches, and then I've gone in with the white gloss spray and I have sprayed that background, so giving it some stars for no better words there. And then I'm going to let that dry for a second and move on. Here I'm just going over the edges because at the moment it's very stark between the heart and the inside. The next step is to go in with that lightest color. Now, being an oxide color, it will actually go over darker colors. So normally if you tried to put a darker ink over a light ink, over a dark ink, you would not see it at all. But being the oxides, distress oxides inks, it will go up. So that's just adding what is in the sketch as rays or whatever coming from the background. So that's my version of that part of the sketch. Here I am just trimming the photos up, guys, and we're going to mount them up onto the photo. And this one is so quick and easy because it really doesn't need much else. I'm not going to put a lot of embellishments on here. I'm going to put a title. I am going to put a little bit of journaling about the full moon, and I'm going to mount it up on a piece of white paper for a bit of a border around the outside edge, and that's it. Oh, and a bit of black distressing. So I always find when I do this last little step actually makes a huge difference. That little bit of a black blending around the outside edge makes such a difference when you think of what effort it takes. It doesn't take much effort at all. Then there's my title, which I did on the Cricut machine, no surprises there, and it says Bali Moon, and I wanted that over. Hey, I really like how that O is sitting down there before I got it all nice and straight. I like that so much that if I can, I'm going to just move that on my layout and make it crooked again because it looked so much better than when it was really straight. Anyway, the things you see on your playback. And I'm going to pop that on. This acrylic block there is just another little tip. Sometimes that helps, having the acrylic block just to hold pieces in place and get them to stick down nice and flat. There's the journaling. I cut that little bit out with the journaling, and that's all done, guys. Here's a little slowdown. As I said, please think about liking, subscribing. Please leave a comment over. I do read all of them and get back to you. Apart from that, I hope I see you tomorrow for the next one. Take care. Bye.